Round 6 of the NRL season is here, Dor, and we're really in the thick of it of NRL Fantasy 2025, mate. A difficult week for super coaches this week, mate. I actually personally got a very good score. I was 352nd for round 6. So actually, personally, I had a great team. But look, let's touch on the all-out team first. And I want to get straight to the point with Jackie Goss. He will be exiting our team this week. I am sick of him.
Oh, he's definitely not playing this week, that's for sure.
He is gone.
There was a reason behind it, but it was awful.
He must be banished.
Look, getting a 6 from Jackie Goz and a 1 from Jamie Humphries is 7 from 2 players is absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, that's what you call diabolical.
766 points the all-out team scored. Look, Payne Haas had a bad week a bad week. He only got 42, so 84 as our captain. It was good that we held on to Nathan Cleary. He got 71 points. We purchased Jaden Campbell, who got us 46 with a very, very poor performance from the Titans on the
I'm
weekend.
happy with that 46, to be honest.
Yeah. So, looking at the team, like you said, Jack Goz and Humphries and Starling are probably the big targets. Look, you can definitely keep Starling. He's going to get you around like 40 points, but he's not really going on with it. He's not getting that 60-plus minutes that he was in those first couple of weeks. So he's basically, I think he's got a break even of 40 this week. Look, in my opinion, he's close to gone, Ski.
Yeah, good to see Purdue get 61, Smith 46, Hamish Stewart 37 on the weekend, Hubner got a good 46. So there is still a lot of money makers.
Stafford Toa 52.
Yeah, Stafford Toa 443k now. Rabbitohs 425. Jenkins got 42. So
all we had to do, those fantasy coaches can be thanking us, Cord. All we had to do was put Isaiah Ayongi into the cells, and he came out with a 59 points.
I know.
So
that's all we had to do.
Yeah, we could have sold him, but we had to try. We were trying to get in Jaden Campbell, so we had to do other trades to try and get him in. So we got rid of Sandon Smith, but yeah, luckily we held on to Ayongi, and he got 59 points. So.
Yeah. Toby Couchman was my purchase this week. He got 69 points.
Unbelievable.
Very, very special performance from him. So he'll be making a lot of money. Let's move straight to round 6, mate. TLT, Penrith Dolphins on the weekend. Look, if you're one of those people that captain Payne Haas on the weekend like myself, yep, it was probably the smart move, but I'd be captaining Nathan Cleary this week against the Dolphins on the Thursday. Would you risk it?
Oh, 100%. 71 points in his first game back. That was the concern. He was option number 4 on captain's corner, and it was basically just due to the fact it was his first game back. But he looked stunning. Best game from Cleary in my opinion for the season.
Yeah.
He looks really back.
And the Panthers team is like slowly coming back together. I mean, Dylan Edwards back this week. Mitch Kenny's out, but that's okay. At 5'8", Jack Cole also out. So Blaze Talagi comes in out the number 6 jersey. I reckon Nathan Cleary is just going to man this game and absolutely pop off. I'd be having the C on him myself. Yeah. I'm going to say 60 points.
Yeah, 60 points is very fair. Look, Sorensen's back, like you said. Kenny and Jack Cole are out with a shoulder for Kenny and a head knock for Jack Cole. Look, this is a huge opportunity here for Blaze. There's been a lot of media speculation in regards to why he hasn't started yet, like big signing for Penrith for this season, and he's barely played at all. So this is his real chance. Jack Cole's been very hot and cold, was very back to his cold ways last week. This is a big chance for Blaze. I think that's really it. Papali's Isaiah Papali'i and Luke Garner are back on the bench. They both started at prop and second row last week. So
I think it's crazy going off fantasy talk a little bit here, but I think it's just incredible that the Penrith Panthers are sitting 15th behind the Dolphins here, 14th, with only one win. They're yet to win in Australia, which is just, they're the 4-time premiers. Yeah. It's just insane. And then we come out on Thursday night, and you'd think that the Penrith Panthers will put on an absolute clinic against the Dolphins. And in saying that, does that mean Cleary pops off? Absolutely. If they score 40 points, Nathan Cleary is going to have at least 20 of them.
100%. So, I think we're just all waiting for that bounce back game. That's what I think everyone's like, oh, yeah, you got to be going the Panthers the same reason why I probably went the Titans on the weekend against the Dolphins. But hey, to their credit, look, the Dolphins really turned up last week.
Yeah, they did.
But look, on the
Good performance.
Dolphins, before we move on to the next game, Cord, look, a big one here. We did say sell Tom Gilbert last week, and he's come back and actually been named on the edge. He's, with Plath starting at lock. I don't know on game day if that's going to be exactly how it pans out. But look, Tom Gilbert scores terribly, or not terribly, but a lot worse. Than he does playing in the middle at lock.
In saying that, Max Plath got 80 minutes on the weekend at lock, scored a try, 66 points, and he's actually averaging 55.
Yeah, so Max Plath's not a bad option. I was more just referring to the fact that it's not great news.
Oh, yeah, I'd be selling.
For Tom Gilbert. Look, Kafusi's still at prop, and Mark Nichols is on the bench, and Ray Stone's suspended for that high tackle on Bo Firma.
Yep.
So we can move on to that first Friday night game if you're ready, Cord.
Yeah, there's nothing real fantasy news here, to be honest. Dragons stick with the same 17. Good to see Hamish Stewart again getting those minutes and that 30-point performance on the weekend, so he's going to keep churning out cash. The big news is for the Titans is that Bo Firma goes back to the second row, and for Feeder, well, if you were in that 1.7%, you did earn a little bit of a starting play there, but you only got 40. Or actually, what did he get on the weekend?
He was the second best. He was the second best Titan scorer, actually. I think behind Tino. So it wasn't. It was actually
he got 50.
Yeah.
So the 1.7%. You got your money's worth there, and now he's back to the bench. So if you still got him, I may as well just stick out with him, to be honest.
Yeah, 54 break even. So look, he's really coming down in price, David Fafita, but it's a bit hard to really play him if he's only going to get 60 to 50 minutes every week. You're just going to keep waiting until we were hoping that he was going to get that 80-minute role every week, but after this week, or last week, should I say. So, but unfortunately, no, that is not the case, Cord.
No, and probably moving on here, mate, because the biggest news is, unless you got anything else for that game.
No, I'm just trying to think. I don't really think so. There was some rumors about Ilias could be dropped, but it looks like he's going to get another chance this weekend. Like you said, Stewart and Egan have been terrific, and Couchman, like you said, Cord. Gutho is a bit of a pod buy if you want a bit of a wing fullback pod option. Gutho is a good option. Jojo Fafita's back, like you said, so Sammy's in the centres, Firma back to back row.
Yep.
And Verrills, a big one. Verrills being, but not fantasy-wise, but more for the Titans. Verrills being back is huge. And then Randall moves to lock because Tino is suspended this week. So that's big for those owners. And Fodawaker will captain the Gold Coast. That's basically it for that game, brother.
Probably the biggest news out of TLT for this week is the Roosters lineup, and they have dropped veteran halfback Chad Townsend for Hugo Savala. Is he a cheapy option? I'm not sure yet. We just got to see how long Chad is going to be out here for. But the big news I can see from this is that Nat Butcher's starting in prop, which means Siwa Wong probably plays 80 minutes. So if you picked him up, that's a great pickup, and he'd probably still be a good pickup because he's playing great footy at the moment.
Yeah, look, we did say buy Siwa Wong last week, and that was actually... Well, we didn't go too bad. We did pretty solid last week with our buy.
I think he might be too expensive now, $589K. And going through his scores, 55, 57, 55, and 80, they're pretty good numbers.
Yeah, he's nearly, look, they can definitely still get you a bit of money. Like if he gets 50 in the coming weeks, he's still going to make, if he gets 50 points in the next 3 rounds, he's still going to make, what's that? That's 80, like 93K if he's averaging 50 points the next 3 weeks. So there's still some money there. If he's playing the minutes, I honestly think he's nearly must have. Like he's getting better scores than some of the actual like gun second rowers. Like Ola Kawatu had a decent game on the weekend and he got 59. Wong got 80. Yeah. And the Roosters are behind Penrith that we were just talking about. The Roosters are 15th on the ladder. And Wong has been, in my opinion, a real standout. Mm-hmm. So for me, look, if you want Sia Wong, get him. Like it's not too late. I honestly think he can average like 60 points the way he's going in the coming weeks. He's definitely not going to be dropped. There was some concern about Egan Butcher, but he hasn't even made it onto the extended reserves yet. Another benefit for the Roosters with is Lindsay Collins Oh, not a benefit. It's actually a real bummer for the Roosters. But yeah, Collins is out for 6 weeks with that MCL. So that's why Nat Butcher is starting at prop. But then that's also good news if you own Nafu White as well. You should see some increased minutes or some better minutes for Nafu White with Collins out. And the last thing on the Roosters, brother, is that I did post yesterday in the early mail in regards to Dom Young also being dropped, as well as Chad Townsend. The reason that hasn't been replicated on the team list and why Marky Mark is actually an 18th man is he's still actually having some issues with that calf.
Okay.
So that could happen. Basically, if Marky Mark's calf's fine come Friday, Marky Mark will come in and Dom Young will be dropped. So it's all on Marky Mark. So
Good
if
news
Marky
there.
Mark's fit, he'll come in and replace Dom Young on the wing. And then in regards to the Broncos, look, we discussed it before. If you want to keep Jack Goss, you can. But look, I can't even tell you what he's going to get. He got 6 and then he got 30-something the week before. So, yeah, look, if you want to keep him, I definitely wouldn't be playing him. Don't make that mistake that what we did last week. I think really the only Adam Reynolds has been named is a good thing if you have Adam Reynolds. Look, would be with Jock Madden's in jersey 20. There could be a chance that he could be rested, Reynolds, and Madden could come in. But look, the one for the Broncos is one Reece Walsh. He is plateaued to 488K. 488K for Reece Walsh.
He's an error-filled player.
Break even of 51 this week. It's very hard not to say, you could wait another week if you wanted to, but I'm not going to hate someone going Reece Walsh at that price. I don't know if he'll get much lower than that. All he needs is one big score and he's on his way.
Yep.
So yeah, look, definitely one to look at, but everyone else, yeah, Haas will bounce back this week, I'm almost certain.
Moving on, Sharks, Teague Wilton in illness and Talakai concussion are back on deck for the trip to Perth. Dor, you're going to Perth, aren't you, for the game?
I will be there. So I will be there for the double header, this game and the next one.
That's good coverage on the All Out page. Make sure to follow the Instagram. And Seagulls, really no news for them other than prop Josh LA is good to go after missing round 5. Simply moves to the bench.
Waddell's out for a couple of weeks. Oh, Lockie Croker's actually listed among the reserves for the first time, so he might be back next week.
Now, this could be the buy of the week. We touched him last week. He had an absolute great game to guide the Rabbitohs to the win. Latrell Mitchell in the halves with Jaden Sullivan in place of injured Cody Walker and Jamie Humphreys. Try-scoring machine Alex Johnson returns on the wing. And Ewan Aiken will play his first game of the season on the centres. Latrell, mate, buy in the halves. What are you thinking?
Look, it'll still go well, but no, I wouldn't be buying him. Look, 69 break even. I honestly would rather go Reece Walsh for 300K less.
Yep. Versus the Cows though, it could just be anything.
The Cows, it could be anything, but the Cows are definitely being better. Look, in saying that though, Latrell made a lot of mistakes last week. He kicked it out twice on the full. He obviously made that great pass to put Tass in the corner. But look, yeah, it could really be anything with Latrell this weekend. Yeah, I think he should get around 40, 50 points. So, yeah, look, if you want to get him, go ahead. But look, Hubner's going great. That's great news. He's still keeping that 13 jersey. I think these injuries actually might help Hubner in regards that Arrow will keep staying at the second row spot. And then we don't know when, Campbell Graham still hasn't been named in the extended bench or anything. So it seems like he's still going to be a couple of weeks away. So it looks like Hubner's going to continue to get that good minutes and continue to make us some money, brother. Yeah, no real news for the Cowboys other than Cotter returns, but nothing fantasy relevant. Purdue's just been feasting. Oh, yeah, he's been feasting. He's been good. Purdue's been great the last couple of weeks. And my little pod from last week in the buy, hold, sell, Jakey Clifford, he had another blinder.
He's actually performing well, isn't he?
So Jakey Clifford had another good game. And then on Rabbitohs, the other thing I should touch on is Mamazoulis. It's getting close to the end, I think, with Mamazoulis.
This is the end.
But still give him another week, I think. He got 35 last week, break even at 29. No need to sell. Give him another give him at least another week.
Yep. Moving on, mate, to the Eels, and just a backline switch between Zach Lomax and Sean Russell. Lomax on the sting, Sean Russell in the centres. Charlie Gamba goes back to the bench, and Riley Smith will start at hooker. Nothing really fantasy relevant there. Raiders, no changes to them. So same sort of teams for those two. For the Storm and the Waz, though, mate, Storm coach Craig Bellamy has named the same 17. Munster had a blinder on the weekend, so I could be picking up him potentially if you're looking to move anyone on.
Yeah, Pappenhausen could be a good shout as well. Now back goal kicking, and I think he only got the early spell last week because of a cork, and then the scoreline as well was a huge blowout. So Eli Katoa is also another great option. He has been really firing of late. Look, 63 points on the weekend. I think he's averaging like 56.3 for the season. He's another great option. I mean, look, in regards to the Waz, not really that much there. I wouldn't say like Aaron Clark, I'd give another week just to have a look at that, see what his minutes are. In regards to Metcalf, I'd give another week as well, see how he goes this week. But if he has a howler, I'd be moving him on. And then in the earlier game with the Eels, Raiders, not much there. Like we just touched on before, Starling, should I say, you can definitely move on if you want to. Like it wouldn't surprise me if we move on Starling and then he ends up playing 60 minutes. But at the same time, there are some decent options. It's good to see for Parramatta in that sake that Kitay Katonga keeps his spot there on the edge. He got 44 on the weekend, so hopefully he can get a good score. Riley Smith had a good stint. Hopefully he can play the full 80 because Guymer came in and played like 15 minutes there. And then, like I touched on, Isaiah Yongi had his best game of the year, and I really think the floodgates start to open now.
I agree, mate. Nothing really for the Waz other than Rocco Berry comes into the side for Adam Pompey, who moves to the wing, and Ed Cossey to the reserves. And for the final game, mate, the Knights, West Tigers. For the Tigers, Luai is back. If you have Luai, geez, I mean, in fantasy terms, you got to sell him.
They're both awful. It doesn't matter if it's Supercoach or
I
fantasy.
bought him in Supercoach. I got to get rid of him.
Well.
I bought him to win a head-to-head, and geez, it did not end up well. And then for the Knights, look, a lot of forced changes with Jack Cogger finger, James Schiller concussion, Saifidi calf, and Adam Elliott all sidelined. Crossland moves from hooker to halfback. Jaden Brayley is the new number 9. Kyle McCarthy comes in on the sting, and Brody Jones joins the pack. Back rower Kai Pierce-Paul returns from suspension, and Tyrone Thompson and Matt Arthur will make their club debuts.
Oh, Tyrone Thompson. So Leo Thompson's brother will make his debut with his brother. So the brothers will be playing together. That's pretty cool. Good news actually, where is he? He's still there. Excellent. I was worried about Kant after last week.
Yeah, he's on the.
But that is excellent news. He's actually playing second row. So Lucas is not back yet. And Lucas is not named on the extended bench either, as poor old Cord's got the hiccups. But yeah, no, a heap of changes for Newcastle. Another thing is I've been seeing DMs about sell Ponga. Look, he had one bad game. Like, you're not selling Ponga. Same with like Sharp and some of those guys. Look, if you got Kant, he played centre and got 50 points in a side that scored 0 points. So that's absolutely unreal. And I expect him to go great this week. It also helps him a bit with these injuries as well. Where's Tyson Frizzell? So that's another thing, him moving back to the middle in regards to the Tigers. Look, huge that they get Skelton, Luai, and Samuel Afinu back this week. I don't really think that any of them are really fantasy. Skelton's probably the closest to a bit of fantasy relevancy. And just like Payne Haas, Tyrrell May had a bit of a average game last week. So I expect him to bounce back. And look, Stafford Toa's been a fantasy fantasy star, really. Luckily, we picked him up. So that's really it in regards to those two teams, Cord.
Yep.
Let's hopefully we can have a better round 6 than we did in round 5, because round 5 there was a couple of injuries and some diabolical scores and a lot of sin bins as well. Yeah, I think there was like 8 or something. So hopefully some of our players don't get sin bin this week. And it's a good weekend. That's all I can ask. You'll see me in Perth. I'll be there documenting it away on the page. And then also, I was going to address it in my live, but if you are watching this, Monday Night with Door was going to start last night, but it's starting next week, next Monday. We will be live on YouTube for that. Otherwise, yeah, give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on all the socials, and we'll see you next week for round 7's TLT.
See ya. Bye.